Okay, without wasting much of our time, this is called thermostat, and it's located inside the engine, close to the water pump area on the engine. If you are driving a Toyota car, it's normally on the right hand side of the engine. If you are sitting from inside the car, facing the engine, it's on the left hand side. While on the right hand side, we have the gearbox on the right hand side for most Toyota products. So this is a water thermostat that is taken from a Toyota Yaris 2008 model. So I would like to explain to us how it functions and the challenges that you face when it's going bad and what to do about it. Firstly, when you start your car in the morning, or when the car is very cold, probably in the morning or whatever time you start your car for the first time in the day, this item will be like this. This is how it will be in the engine. This is closed position. Then the water that's already inside the engine itself, not on the radiator. The water in the engine without working with the engine. When it gets so hot that the engine the engine temperature sensor picks that the water is so hot, it will inform the ECU. The ECU will now trigger another sensor that will close up this gap. And when this gap is closed up, water will rush in and out of the engine, rushing in from the radiator, cold water that is being cooled by the fan and by the air that the car is head on with. Then the cold water will run into the engine, and the hot water will come out. There's an in and out pipe from the engine. So once cold water is going in, automatically the hot water will be returning to the radiator. And when the temperature sensor senses that the temperature in the car is okay, it will still inform the ECU that, please, can you shut down the thermostat? We are good to go now. So when that is informed, the thermostat that was formerly like this for water to go in will be released. And then when it's released, no more water will go into the engine, no water will go out of the engine. It will remain like that until the engine senses that in this cold water again through the temperature sensor. Now, when this is bad, your car will start overheating, and nobody, whether a car owner or a driver, whosoever, nobody enjoys overheating the car. So when your car starts having overheat, it could be as a result of dirty engine. The inside the engine is dirty, or it could be as a result of dirty radiator, or it could be as a result of bad radiator, or it could be as a result of fan not working, or it could be as a result of the fan not working in full capacity. All of this has to be considered. Now, when you have considered the thermostat, when you have considered the radiator, clean it, flush it. For those that are in Africa that cannot easily afford this, you just bring out your thermostat. First of all, check the fan speed and fan speed direction. If it's in the right direction, you can check the fan speed direction by putting a paper or a currency note at the front of the car. Find a way to put your hand close to the radiator, close to the condenser that is in front of the radiator. Put paper there, put a nylon there, put a paper money there, and if it magnets, then the fan is in the right direction. But if you put something there and it falls off, then it's in the opposite direction. Not on the front grille. Just find a way, put your hand underneath, in between the front grille and the car. There's a space where you can put your hand there, either from under the car or from the hood. You may have to do some plastics there to find a way down. So when you put the paper there and it magnets it, that means the fan is in the right direction. But when you put the paper there and it falls off, then the fan is blowing in the opposite direction. As such, it could lead to overheating. Now, if the fan is in the right direction, then that condition is met. Now you check the radiator. You could drop it down, get an expert that will lose it, and drop it down, and you could go and flush it. It may not necessarily be bad if the fins, the space, the fins are not broken, are not bent. Maybe it's covered with mud or with dust or debris. Just take it to the car wash. Let them use a hot steam to flush it in and out, and you have yourself another radiator that can serve you for the next 5 years, or depending on your country or region, it will serve you a longer period of time before it gets bad again. Now, having met that condition and the temperature still keep rising, you may have to lose this. Go to your technician, have him lose this, and check if it is bad. If it is bad, remove it and put another one, if you can afford another one. But those in temperate region, Africa and Middle East, if this is bad and you cannot afford another one, remove it entirely and close the space. The car can still function as it should. The reason why this is very, very important is for those living in temperate region. When their car is so cold, it will exchange. And then those that are not living in the quite hot countries, this is still important. But notwithstanding, I appreciate the technology behind this. It's still very important. But in a case where you cannot afford this, or you can but it's not available, or the one they give you don't trust it, you keep giving the same issue, remove it entirely. Look for engine gum and gum the surface and cover it back, and your car start functioning very well. The temperature will never rise again. There could be other effects, but it cannot be adverse effects when it's not there. It cannot be adverse effects. It cannot be so much of negative effect, but it could be terrible if your engine overheats and burn your top because you are trying to manage this, or you have been informed that if you remove this, car will not work very well. Never. Instead of burning your top due to overheat, remove this entirely until you're able to get an original one that will function very well. All this rubber here, all these things here, all these springs, all of them, this is perfectly good. This is still very okay. This is 100% okay, good. So all this rubber here, sometimes when this thing is bad, the rubber will fold in, preventing this thing from closing up. I cannot close it further beyond this. I cannot close it further. But when it's inside the engine can press in this down very well. But when this rubber breaks, folds inside, that means this is gone. That's how to inspect it. We bring it out, you inspect if the rubber has broken inside, has folded inside, melted inside due to overheat in the engine. You check here, if this top seal is still there, and inspect it if this stops are in order. If they're in order, then it's good. And if you put it back, the heat continues. Remove it. Yes, for those in Africa, remove it. And save yourself the cost of buying a new engine, or a second new engine, or the cost of keeping your car in the mechanic garage for a very long time. Just remove this and have your peace. That's kind of advice. But if you can afford a certain of it, you are very assured and sure of yourself that you're getting an original thermostat, good, put it back and continue enjoying your car. And in most cases, if the overheat continues after having done all of this, go to your fan, remove the fan from thermostats, put the fan directly to the ignition, so that once you turn on the ignition, the fan will come on. By so doing, the fan will blow all through the journey and the temperature will not rise. But normally the cars come with a fan linked to thermostats. And it says that when the engine is hot, the fan will come on. When the engine is hot, this will be relaxed. The fan will come on and blow cold, the hot air comes from the engine. And then when the engine cools off again, the fan will go off. That's how many cars come. But if you're operating in a tropical region like Africa and Middle East, put your fan to steady, to ignition. Once the ignition comes on, the fan start blowing. So the fan start blowing before even engine heats up, and blow throughout the engine is heated up, and then you enjoy your car. I removed this from my car because I'm in a very hot region in Africa, and in Nigeria precisely, hot part of Nigeria, and it being in my car, I don't trust that the car will not overheat when I run a long distance where I cannot get a mechanic to fix it for me. So I had to remove it, and I put my fan straight to ignition. Ever since then, I can drive for 300 kilometers and open my radiator and touch the water, and it will not be hot. I can drive for a very long kilometer, like 300, 400, even 600 kilometers. And when I park the car immediately, I open my radiator and touch the water. It's still very cold, like warm, less than 40 degrees Celsius. Because I know I'm in Africa, and some technologies that the car come with cannot function very well in Africa. So I have to use my head and make it work for me and adjust it to suit my climate. So with this, I've come to the end of this topic, and I thank you for your time and patience. And I sincerely apologize if there are places I made mistakes that you're not comfortable with, either in my language or whatsoever that you're not comfortable with. I say crave your indulgence. And I also plead with you to subscribe, like, and comment to challenges. And feel free to inform me your intentions to buy a car and what kind of car you're going to buy. So I will give you counsel on the electrical and mechanical issues the car has, and resale value of the car if I want to sell it in the near future. So you can go and buy a car you stuck with. And when you are done, you can sell to get another one, or I will keep giving challenges. I'm here for you. Feel free to comment and like, and above all, subscribe. Thank you.